Hello, this is Thor Young with Bear Bull Traders, and I would like to do a recap on my trades for you today. Today I traded MYGN, and I also traded BYND. Now, MYGN was on our list. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, Norms. Guys, make sure you're liking their channel. Make sure you hit the bell. Make sure you subscribe. If you get a chance, if you like the information I give you, throw a like for me as well. I appreciate it. Certainly helps us. It also helps other people find us, people that are looking for good videos and good content, and we like to try and give that to you guys. So MYGN was on my list today. Mainly, it had this massive gap down. Now, the massive gap down can be a little scary because you don't really know if it's going to rebound from that or all go down. So I liked MYGN for my opening play for this reason here. You saw this big gap up here, came down, and then it had a gap, or it had a nice run up on one day, and then it had a big gap down on some kind of news. But notice after the gap, it was fine with running down without even having a wick up. So the personality of this stock says that if it has good news, it moves. If it has bad news, it doesn't, right? It falls. So I'm really looking to take advantage of that. Now, I did some really good trading on MYGN, and then I did some not great trading. Sometimes with the market, you really just kind of got to roll with it and take what it gives you. So MYGN had this huge lot of orders down below $21, and it had it from the pre-market, and I was really interested in it. And you can see here, my trades all on this stock were basically all in pursuit of the break of $21. So you can see here, I took a short, very small short on MYGN, and then added into it when it looked like it was holding VWAP, and my intention was to stop out with the loss of VWAP. So MYGN, unfortunately wicked right through VWAP, and at the same time my internet actually froze. So very upsetting moment, and when it blinked back on, which only took about 30 seconds, MYGN was all the way up here at 24 and pushing back down, and I was about $50 or $60 in the hole, so I was not too excited about that. However, as I looked at the level 2 and I was starting to type in my, I was about to cover my order out, I noticed the L2 looked extremely strong to the downside and the asks had faded quite a bit. So I'm already down $50, so I can either stop out or I can add into this thing and play with it and see what happens. My initial premise still is kind of intact. I was hoping to wait for a higher pull to get in. I just didn't think it was going to make it, which is why I limped in. And I am willing to risk $100 on the trade. So I went ahead and I added into my short here, and if I lost $24, I was going to get out. So pulled up, got really close to $24, and I got really nervous, but it held, pushed back down, came back up, looked like it was holding 23 nicely. The level 2 was still stacked heavily in my favor, so I added in at 23. Now I'm at a full-size position, and my stop out is at most the loss of, at this point, 23.51. As I judge on these, when I'm doing these, let me draw, or let me just show you real quick. I don't have my drawing tool, but you can see how these wicks are all descending here. So every time it makes a new wick, a break of that wick will stop me out. So you see 24.20, originally I set it at $24 just because that was an acceptable risk I could take with this entry and add in. So, but it only made it to 23.90. This time it only made it to 23.38. So when I added in, my new add-in was only going to be the loss of 23.38. And then I took a partial as it broke down, which is very nice. And then I got some more partials as we broke down there. Now you'll notice I did add in here and got some nice partials there, and everything was looking really nicely. Held up again. Still all of these bids sitting here at 21. It just couldn't reach, so it came back up. I added in, got a partial, and then got stopped out at my average. Wasn't very happy about getting stopped out the average, and I really felt like I should have held for this 50 moving average. So I kind of lost my mind for just a second because I didn't want to miss this breakout. And I got into a position here, took it short, small, added into it a little bit here because it held. It actually wicked up to the 50, came back down, and it held it. So I thought we were really good, so I added in, and then it wicked me out. So not very happy, and then it pulled back up, held the 50 again. This time I said, all right, I'm going to get into it again, just shy of 21.50, and I'll give it the break of this previous candle, again, smaller size. And just overtraded, right? I mean, this is obviously just overtrading. So what I should have done was waited. And you see here I stopped out when it was obviously the level 2 on the ask side made it look like it was going to run for VWAP, so I didn't want to hold for that loss. But if I was smarter and I played this one better, instead of adding in here, I would have held for a little bit and just kind of nursed that position a little bit and waited, because inevitably it pulled back up to VWAP. I could have added in at VWAP with a stop of the 200 or the loss of $22, and I would have been golden. Or I could have added in here at 2150 when it made a beautiful descending pattern at 2050 right before it had a breakdown. Now, I did see that breakdown. It pulled in, it came, it hesitated and pulled up. I went ahead and took an entry. If I had have lost just a few cents, I would have gotten out of this one, and I took some partials there. And then I stopped out the rest at break even, which fortunately this little move here was enough money for me to recoup the loss from these shenanigans. So I was still up quite well on the day at that point. So second trade, I traded Beyond, and I am still holding a position on Beyond. So Beyond took me a couple stabs to get at this one as well. Now, as you guys are starting to guess, I trade the L2 a lot, and I focus on the L2 a lot when I trade. So Beyond had a really strong move up to VWAP. It looked to be holding VWAP. I went long here. I think Andrew might have actually gone long with me here. And I liked it. I took a small position since I was near the top of this breakout. If I had gotten in down here, I would have taken a much better position. And my goal was to stop out at the loss of this 200 moving average. All right, you can see how it was kind of respecting that average, and it's been holding it throughout, so I really kind of liked that. Plus, as usual, we had a large bulk of asks up above $83. They were just calling. All right, a lot of asks. So I went ahead and limped in. I added into my position when I got a little further away because I liked that it had held the 200 moving average, but then it decided to squeeze me out. It dropped down, and through the 200 moving average, I stopped out. Now this time it quickly popped right back up through the 200 moving average. It held here. I liked it, so I took a small position again, longed in for the break. All of these orders, again, still out here, still waiting. Came up to VWAP, came back down, held my 200 moving average, so I added in 2 more times as it held. And again, this time my break wasn't the 200 moving average. If I had lost 85.25 this time, I would have been out. But I liked that it held my 200 moving average, so I added in there. This time, because of my add-in, I was able to take a partial at VWAP, and then as it busted VWAP, I started taking profit as we went up. So, and as you can see here, most of these grabs are about 10% grabs. So, and I'm only holding on to about 10-15% now at this point. Beyond managed to break through high of day on mine. You can see on my 5-minute, we got that break a high of day. I took some really aggressive partials there. So now I'm just hoping to hold my last 15%. Beyond can become a runner if you give it an opportunity. And you notice on the daily chart, we are very subdued here. So there's no reason we can't hold up here and make a run through 85 and up to 90 for the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've got a break even set here on Beyond, and I'm going to hold that pretty much for the entire day unless I get stopped out. I'll buy it wherever it's at that point. So I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you could learn a little bit of something from my recaps here. A little long-winded here, but I wanted to make sure I covered, some of my bad trades in the middle as well. Sometimes I gloss over and go to the good ones because I feel like you learn most from there. But my bad trades, the main thing is patience is the key on all of this. And I had 2 trades today where I probably could have been a little more patient. And would have survived. MYGN was certainly luck. I had a really nasty wick on that one when my internet went down, so that one easily could have stopped me out. But the important thing is when you're down in trading is to not be emotional. Look back at your chart, see where you are. If it's still in your favor, do something to get your losses back. Now, if I had looked at that chart and the ask was still super strong, I would have just dropped right out and I would have been done with it. But since it wasn't, and I thought I could hold on to it, I went ahead and added into my position, and I got a nice drop down and made my profit target almost completely off of just those trades. And then BYN ended up being a welcome surprise, getting me up well over my goal and then quite a bit. So I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you're all staying green.